Welcome back. I'm Dr. Joel Glenn Wixson, and this is another in a series of videos that I'm putting together to put out the message, the fundamental messages in this book that I've written called 7 Billion Geniuses. One of the most important ideas in 7 Billion Geniuses came to me through one of my teachers. His name is Michael White. And the idea is the absent but implicit, and it's this notion that every choice that we make, every experience that we have is a manifestation of stuff that matters to us, the things that matter to us most, our hopes and our dreams and our desires. And so then I use it in the 7 Billion Geniuses context to talk about how your genius is manifest in every choice that you make, and every idea that you have, and everything that you stand for. And so today I'm going to talk about transforming fear from that context. Fear is something that a lot of people are experiencing right now, all over the world, for a variety of different reasons. But I always like to think locally, bring it back to myself. Today I'm going to talk about my own fear, the fear that I'm experiencing right now. The most profound fear that I feel right now, and again, I have my notebook for mapping this conversation in case it goes in that direction. I'm really not sure exactly what direction it's going to go in, but I'm staying open to the possibilities. Again, mapping is not about getting from point A to point B. It's about mapping a territory that includes all the possibilities that exist between point A and point B, to move away from that cultural trajectory that we get connected to that suggests the most important thing to do in a journey is to get to the end. Not where we're coming from right here, not what this conversation is about. So one of the most fundamental fears that I experience has to do with my kids right now, today. When fear starts to take me over, it's always connected to them, things that might happen to them. And then that links to, and so here I go. So why is that a fear for me? So this is the 7 Billion Geniuses process. I talk about fear, and in a thin description kind of way, on a surface level, it's about my concern about my kids. And then I ask myself this question: why is that a concern for me? And it really has to do with what might happen to them and what they might not be able to do. So I'm writing that down right now. What they might not be able to do. And I talked about this before, but the importance of writing these things down is that as I go through this process, I'm probably going to forget that I said these things. And saying these things is fundamentally important because it starts to point towards my own genius, and it starts to point towards those things that matter to me and what I stand for, sort of as a larger heading. So I want to remember these things, because now I'm going to ask myself what it is about the idea that something might happen to them that brings up this fear experience that I have. And it has to do really with their safety and their mortality, my own kind of agenda that them continuing to live is a good thing. It's a personal agenda. It's I don't know if you feel the same way about my kids, but I certainly do feel that way about them. And then so I could go back to what they might not be able to do, which was the second thing that I said, but instead I'm going to actually continue on with them living thing, and the idea about why it would be so important for me to have them continue to live. And it really has to do, and I'm telling you, I've not scripted this. I'm doing this right here, right now. I haven't thought this up before. I have no idea where this is going to go. But back to the idea of why them living is so important to me. And it really has to do with my belief in them. I'm going to write down my belief in them, and what I think they're capable of in terms of what they have to offer this world. And it's quite profound. My son has a deep interest in community, in evolving his own kind of personal friend community right now, and in music. My daughter's also very much interested in music and her friend community, and also very much invested in dance right now. We just saw a performance of hers last night, and my sense of her and the light that she brings to the world through dance is extraordinary. And having just witnessed this last night, it's very much close to my thinking right now. And so the idea that light would be shut off, or that the light that my son brings to the world would be shut off, pains me. It makes me very sad, the idea that that would be lost. And so why? So then I ask myself, so you're talking about this light and what they have to offer. I write down this light. And why does the loss of that pain me so much? And I'm thinking right now, real life, I'm actually really thinking right now. I just think that kind of energy is so important for the world right now. We're so easily caught up in the negative that we see, the sketchy stories that come out, the idea that the world's a dangerous, inherently just a dangerous and risky place. And then I think about, this light that they have to offer, and my hope that is a way that can counter this darkness that we see around us all the time. And so I'm going to actually stop there with this conversation. But as you've tracked along here and can see, from my notes and my terrible handwriting and spelling, we've gone a long way from fear. So we start off with fear, and we end up talking about this light that I believe my children have to offer the world, and so the fear's been transformed from this potentially incapacitating emotion into a more rich description of what it's founded in, which is really about this desire that I have for my children to be able to actually achieve something. And so then what it comes back to is, then when I experience fear from this point forward in real time, I'm going to feel that fear, and then I'm going to be reminded of this conversation that I had with myself and virtually with you, that changes it from a thing that was simply about a troubling, disturbing, sometimes paralyzing emotion, turns it into this really kind of wonderful thing that I carry around about my children. And so it's not to discount the emotion, it's not to act like that emotion isn't real or didn't happen, but it's to say, yeah, and that emotion's predicated on some stuff that's really kind of fundamentally, I'm pretty proud of it actually. And so that's what I have for you this week. Stay in touch. You got contact information at the end of this video. Please subscribe to the videos so I know that people are out there listening, and hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.